The puppy didn't bark. It didn't whine. It simply sat in the middle of the sidewalk, tiny body trembling, eyes locked onto the man's shoes, as if they were the last safe thing left in the world. People passed by, feet brushing close, cars splashing dirty rainwater. But the puppy never looked away. When the man tried to step around it, the puppy moved too, blocking him again, lowering its head, pressing its forehead against his leg like a silent plea. The man sighed, already late, already tired of a day that had given him nothing but bad news. He reached into his pocket for his phone to call someone, anyone, to deal with this problem. That's when he noticed the thin red string tied around the puppy's neck, and the way its paws were raw, as if it had been walking for far too long. He didn't know it yet, but in that exact moment, both of their lives were about to change in a way neither of them could ever forget. The man's name was Aaron, and just an hour earlier he had walked out of a small office carrying a cardboard box filled with everything that proved he used to belong there. 10 years of loyalty, replaced by a handshake and a rehearsed apology. His mind was heavy with thoughts of rent, food, and the silence waiting for him at home. He told himself he couldn't afford kindness today. He couldn't afford responsibility. Yet the puppy stayed glued to him, stepping wherever he stepped, stumbling when he walked faster, but never giving up. When Aaron finally stopped and knelt down, the puppy leaned into his hands as if it had been waiting for that touch its entire life. Up close, Aaron saw how skinny it was, how its ribs showed beneath dirty fur, how one eye looked swollen and tired. The puppy licked his fingers, slow and weak, and something inside Aaron cracked open. He tried to reason with himself. Maybe the puppy belonged to someone nearby. Maybe it had just wandered off. He stood and walked a few steps away, testing it. The puppy followed, limping slightly now but determined. Aaron's chest tightened. He looked around, asking a few strangers if they recognized the dog. No one did. Some shrugged. One woman said, "Strays are everywhere," and kept walking. The rain began to fall harder, soaking both of them. Aaron took off his jacket without thinking and wrapped it around the puppy, who immediately curled into it like it was a treasure. That was when Aaron noticed something else. A folded piece of paper, damp but still tucked beneath the string around the puppy's neck. The note was short, written in shaky handwriting. "Please help him. I tried." That was all. No name, no explanation, just those 3 words that felt heavier than any long letter. Aaron swallowed hard. Whoever had tied that note had run out of options. And now, somehow, those options had landed at his feet. He could still walk away. He told himself that over and over. But when the puppy looked up at him, tail giving the smallest hopeful wag, Aaron knew he wouldn't. He took the puppy to the nearest shelter, telling himself it was the responsible thing to do. The building smelled of disinfectant and sadness, filled with echoes of barking and waiting. A tired worker examined the puppy and shook her head gently. "He needs a vet," she said, "and we're full. If you leave him here today, there's no guarantee." She didn't finish the sentence, but she didn't need to. Aaron felt the room spin. He looked down at the puppy, who had pressed itself against his shoe again, that same quiet, begging posture. In that moment, the story could have ended with Aaron handing him over and walking away. But instead, he heard himself say words he hadn't planned. "I'll take him." That was the beginning of the hardest weeks of Aaron's life, and the reason he didn't give up on himself when everything else seemed lost. The vet bills were more than he expected. The puppy, whom Aaron named Milo, had an infection, malnutrition, and a small fracture that had never healed properly. Aaron sold his old watch. He skipped meals. He slept on the couch so Milo could take the bed. Every night, Milo curled up against him, breathing softly, like a reminder that someone still needed him. When Aaron felt the weight of failure pressing down, Milo would rest his head on Aaron's chest, as if listening to his heart, as if making sure it kept going. Days turned into weeks. Milo grew stronger, learned to walk without limping, learned to play, learned to trust. Aaron started taking Milo to the park, where strangers smiled and asked about him. One afternoon, a woman stopped and stared at Milo with tears in her eyes. Her hands shook as she knelt down. "Is that?" she whispered. She explained that her younger brother had been homeless, struggling, and had taken care of Milo when no one else would. When her brother got sick and was taken to the hospital, he begged her to find Milo, but she never could. The note, the red string, it all made sense now. Her brother hadn't abandoned Milo. He had sent him to find help. The woman thanked Aaron over and over, offering money, help, anything. Aaron refused. All he asked was that she tell her brother Milo was safe, loved, and happy. A week later, Aaron received a call from her. Her brother wanted to meet the man who saved his dog. At the hospital, the reunion was quiet and powerful. Milo recognized his first human instantly, tail wagging, eyes shining. The man cried, holding Milo, whispering apologies and gratitude. He thanked Aaron for doing what he couldn't anymore. "You didn't just save him," he said. "You saved me too." Here is where most people think the story ends, but the ending was only beginning to show itself. A month later, Aaron was offered a job. The woman from the park had spoken about him to her company, about his honesty, his compassion, his refusal to take reward. They wanted someone like that. On his first day, Aaron clipped Milo's leash and smiled, realizing how close he had come to walking past a miracle. The puppy who begged for help didn't just find a savior. He found a partner in survival. And the man who thought he had nothing left to give discovered that kindness, even when it costs everything, has a way of giving it all back. Sometimes the smallest creatures carry the biggest messages. Sometimes help doesn't arrive with noise or force, but with quiet eyes, a trembling body, and a hope that refuses to move out of your way.